Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever felt lonely to the point where it affects your daily life or mood, self-esteem?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to elaborate?
Yes. I think I can do like quite often, but it's not like physical loneliness. It's just like mental loneliness. Like I kind of feel disconnected from people, even if there's a load of people around me. But yeah.
Do you think that comes from within, in the sense that like you sort of feel the absence of yourself in terms of like you? So for example, me, like, I won't write this down, but like when I felt really lonely, it was more of the sense that I didn't like my own company. So when I was by myself, I didn't even have myself. So I was just sort of like
kind of existing
in a non-deep way. It was like my soul was just there.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have anyone around me.
No, I get that. I feel like sometimes when I lose track of like, because I find myself sometimes I can almost change my personality a little bit and lose track of who I actually am. And when I do that, I think it's harder to feel the connection between me and people around me, because I'm not really, even feeling connected within myself. And even though I'll be around people, I'll be socialising with people, I can feel like a disconnect with that, and it almost just feels like I'm a bit third person, which can feel lonely.
Yeah, I get what you mean. What does loneliness look like to you, or feel like?
I think it can look like anything, because people obviously like imagine like literally being on your own, but I feel like it's not necessarily that. It's almost, I feel like you can tell with people when they are feeling lonely, because there is a disconnect with people, and it's like almost you can see very little behind their eyes, that sort of thing. Like when I picture loneliness, I don't necessarily picture just somebody on their own. I kind of picture people as like kind of a thing that comes to mind is just sort of like somebody sat there like with people around, but almost being in their own head and not really listening. I guess it kind of feels self-explanatory to that. But yeah.
Do you think you can feel lonely because of yourself and not others? Like in terms of, like, say you have all of your loved ones around you, like say it's Christmas Day and you have all of your family, all your friends, but you still feel so lonely?
Yeah, I think sometimes it can be like almost self-inflicted, like an isolation sort of thing, because I think a lot of people, to cope with how they're feeling, tend to disconnect from their own head so they don't have to feel things, but in doing that you're also disconnected from other people. And also a lot of the time, if people aren't doing very well, they isolate themselves, and although it feels like the right thing to do in the moment, all it does is really cause more problems, because they've just got rid of any support system. Yeah.
Do you think social media increases loneliness and fear of missing out?
Yeah, because I think a lot of the time you'll see like influencers, like they're always out, they're always doing stuff, they're always like with tons of people doing whatever, which is not realistic, and nobody does that. Nobody actually does that unless they're like an influencer or something. But sometimes it can almost be like, because that's surrounding us so much, it can almost be like you're seeing these people doing all this, and even though you do have an active social life or you're doing whatever, you could be a bit like, I'm not doing that much, I'm not doing as much as that, which then I feel like
you feel like you're underachieving.
Yeah, which can make you feel like you're lonely, even though you're not, and like you
exactly.
Yeah, but you're not as sociable as these people online. So yeah.
Does your own company compare to others when you're sad? Like either in the past or now? Like for example, not even just when you're sad, but when you're angry or you feel the disconnect, are you able to
like reach out?
No, are you able to sort of like feel what other people give you by yourself?
I don't really understand the question, sorry.
Say you're sad, and none of your friends can come over, your parents are out, are you able to aid yourself and make yourself feel better? But does that compare to someone else cheering you up?
I think it's very different. I think it's possible to help yourself in that sense, but it's never going to be as effective as other people helping, which I feel like is a problem, because a lot of the time if people are feeling bad, they don't want to be around people, even though realistically, no matter how you're feeling in the moment, seeing people often helps, and in like 99% of cases will help. And I feel like if other people are around, because they're not trapped in your head like you are, they can get you out of things easier, because they don't have that, it's not a bias, but they don't have that sort of emotion behind what they're doing or what they're saying. So I think in terms of cheering you up, I think being around people who aren't feeling the same as you is more helpful because they're not kind of wallowing in it like you are.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Thanks, Pookie.
That's okay.